Welcome, thank you for watching this video. This is my overview review of the 2020 Hobie Pro Angler 14. And I've had this kayak approximately 6 months now. And before that I had just a regular paddle kayak, a Jackson Liska, and it got the job done. But making the transition from paddle to pedal opens up a whole new world of fishing. The main reason I wanted to switch to a pedal drive was because in our creeks down here, I fish tidal creeks with an incoming and outgoing tide, and there's wind, is always movement, and taking the time to find a spot, anchor up, it just takes too long. It's just, in a pedal drive, you're able to see a spot you want to fish, and you have both hands free. You can cast there, you can sit there a minute, face into the current, paddle against it, and be able to fish that spot consistently. Whereas on my paddle drive, I would basically get one shot. The time that my lure is actually staying in that strike zone was a heck of a lot less than it is with this. Now, one of the best things about this kayak is the space and availability, and just the overall layout is great. I love that I upgraded to this. The hatch in the front is huge. I got my fish board in there, and basically everything I attach to my kayak, all the light stuff, so that when I pick it up and maneuver it around, it's not super heavy on me. I keep just my basic necessities in there. I don't want to stink it up, so I don't ever put fish in there. But you could put anything you wanted up in that front hatch. It's huge. The working back, you got this storage right here. This is where I keep, this is all I really ever need out there, is I just got my basic soft plastics, and then I gotta want another one for my hard lures. Jig head soft plastics. And then in here, I got, well, you can see, got all my top waters and just my Miradines, couple shrimps and whatnot. Anything else I need, I just usually put it next to the side right here. My Z-Mans, my 12 fathom paddle tails. If I'm fishing with live bait, I just keep it up front. There's plenty of space in this kayak. That's why I went with the 14 over the 12. A lot of people were saying that if you get the 12, you just wish that you had gotten the 14 instead. So I just went ahead and got the 14. The price difference isn't that much. The rear well has a ton of room. There's more room than I actually need. I'm able to put a crate back there with 2 extra rods. There's 2 rod holders in the back. Here in North Florida, we have a ton of oyster beds. It's mostly mud flats, oyster beds. When you switch to a pedal drive or a Mirage drive, you're gonna run into that stuff eventually. Whether you hit it sooner or later, you will. The reason I went with Hobie's Mirage drive with the kick-up fins is because I didn't want to run into one of those with a propeller. I mean, for the most part, if you know the area, you can tell where they are, but when you're in a brand new place, those oyster beds can sneak up on you like that. And with the Mirage drive, if I do accidentally run into one, it just flips back. Let me grab it. So here's the latest version of the Mirage drive. Not the 360 version, obviously, the 180 turbo kick-up fins. As I'm going along, these are flipped back and forth like this. So say an oyster bed comes or anything that's real shallow, boom, they break away. Like so. Break away. And let me tell you, that's saved me more than once. Actually, it kind of saved me almost every trip. And if, as you're going through the shallows, back, forth, and you get a little bit too shallow, you pull them up like this, and you can usually get through whatever you're trying to get through in a shallow area. You can flutter kick, basically that's demonstrating like this, and it'll still propel you forward enough to get through those real shallow areas. Or you can go ahead and pull the whole drive system out and switch to a paddle. This is where your Mirage drive clicks in. You put it down, push it straight down, and it clicks in automatically. You don't do any clicking. The only time you do is when you go to take it out, boom, boom, pull straight up. And that's how your Mirage Drive releases. Now this kayak isn't the most easy to paddle. It's a tank. It's big. It's big for a reason. It's got a lot of stability. To me, that's an okay sacrifice. I'd rather have the stability and you know, what it lacks in maneuverability, it makes up for in speed. If you are looking for a Hobie Pro Angler or an Outback, you're gonna pay a little bit of money if you want it brand new. But what I suggest is going on either Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, look for one used. The older ones are still a good value. Hobie's been doing this the longest. The Mirage Drive has been around, I believe, 20 years or so now. I have to check on that. And you know, they've evolved, and there's a reason that they're expensive and that they're considered the best. All I know is when I switched from paddle to pedal, my whole world opened up as far as fishing. I caught more fish consistently. I have old videos to compare that to. The amount of time I spent fishing was considerably more, as opposed to fighting the current, fighting the wind. And I just had a better time, you know. If you're gonna be on the water a lot, in my opinion, it is worth the investment. I wouldn't want to go with any other kayak right now.